A low muttering rose to the subconscious cave. So while this is happening, you are also made of the lower parts here. What happens now from the lower regions? Because Ashwapati is still making the progress, you see. A low muttering rose to the subconscious cave. The stammer of primal ignorance. So the ignorance is stammering and telling, look, Ashwapati, what are you trying to do? What about all these things here? You see? Answer to that inarticulate questioning. They stood with lightning neck and thunder's wing. They stood with lightning neck and thunder's wing. A radiant hymn to the inexpressible, and the anthem, the superconscious light. So there is a kind of murmur from below. The subconscious parts are not yet open. They are not able to receive all those powers of light and beauty and joy. Those perceptions which are there, they are not yet able to hold them at all. But then, while that murmur is there, still there is something coming from above. Answer to that inarticulate question. Inarticulate, it is not able to express that thing. The difficulty is there. It is not able to express that thing. To that question, they are stood with lightning neck. See, it is a creature, it is a being with a lightning neck and thunderous wings. So this is a different kind of a creature altogether. It is an inspiration, it is a response. They stood with lightning neck and thunderous wings, a radiant hymn. So actually that is the beauty of it. Radiant hymn, Sukta, the Vedic Sukta, hymn, it is Vedic Sukta. It is that Sukta itself, that hymn itself, which is coming down in response to the murmur from below. When it comes down, when that Sukta, when that hymn comes down, it comes with this power of light and joy and happiness, and it takes care of the difficulties of the lower nature. I mean, the power of the hymn is to see that the primal ignorance which is present here is answered, and you see, the subconscious caves, guha, which is there in that answer to that inarticulate questioning, there stood with lightning neck and thunderous wing, a radiant hymn to the inexpressible. So that hymn is actually is a chant of praise to the one who cannot be expressed at all. Hymn is trying to express, but that is inexpressible. You cannot express in anything at all. So it is a chant, it is a praise, it is a Lord of the Supreme, praise of the Supreme, a radiant hymn to the inexpressible, and the anthem, the superconscious life, anthem, the whole thing is giving like an anthem. Huge big song, a kind of an orchestra of 1,000 instruments playing together and bringing down that thing. The anthem, the subconscious light, all was revealed there, none can hear, express. All was revealed there to him, to Ashwapati. So all that thing is there revealed to Ashwapati. All was revealed there, none here expressed. Vision and dream were fables spoken by truth, or symbols more veridical than fact, or were truths enforced by supernatural seal. So Ashwapati, all the seals are now getting opened out to him. He is able to understand the meaning of all those things. But truths enforced by supernatural seal, they were there, but they have been now opened out completely. Vision and dream are fables by the truth. So actually they are the creation of it, or symbols more veridical than fact. All these things are there. All are revealed to Ashwapati, because that sight, that possibility has opened out to him. All are revealed there, none can express them. Vision and dreams were fables spoken by truth, or symbols more veridical than fact, or were truths enforced by supernatural seal. Immortal eyes approached and looked in his. See, that is the inner faculties. He is in the inner planes, you see. So that inner planes have completely opened out here, and therefore immortal eyes approached and looked in his. All the gods and goddesses are looking into his eyes. It is not that he is seeing them; they are seeing into him. Completely. Immortal eyes approached and looked in his eyes, and beings of many kingdoms neared and spoke. Many kingdoms. It means there are still other kingdoms which are not yet spoken to him, but they will shortly. You see, this is the beginning. And beings, so all these Gandharvas, all these rishis, all the great siddhas, the worlds of beings who are there, they are coming and telling, yes, this is this, this is this, this is this, all those things that they are now in front of me. And beings of many kingdoms neared and spoke. The ever-living whom we name as dead could live their glory beyond death and birth. Yeah, you see, people who have realized their immortality, they are there in the world soul. In the world soul, they are there, and they are permanently there. So, the ever-living whom we never, so we think that they are gone, they are not, but they are there in the world soul. See, the ever-living whom we name as dead could live their glory beyond death and birth. So, they are free of birthism. They are there permanently in the world soul. To utter the wisdom which exceeds all praise. They are there to give us knowledge. They are there to give us knowledge. The Vedic Rishi speaks of our human fathers. They speak of our human fathers. The Vedic Rishi speaks of our fathers. Now imagine, we don't know about that history at all. That we don't know the history of the Vedic Rishis themselves, when it started, how it began, how we have come to this point. We have no idea of the Vedic age also. But these people of the Vedic age, they are speaking of their human fathers. So the history which is there behind them, we have absolutely no knowledge of that, you see. Our knowledge of history is that way extremely big. I mean, we can say roughly the age of the rishis could be around 10,000 years ago, roughly. But before that 10,000 years ago, there were beings, they were doing tapasya, they were doing sadhana, they are doing certain things. Our fathers, and they are there, and they are living there. And they are telling us this. And that knowledge, the Vedic rishis were able to get from those accomplished souls, from those siddhas which are there. The Vedic rishis were able to receive directly from them. And beings of many kingdoms neared and spoke. The ever-living, whom we name as dead, could live their glory beyond death and birth. So for them, it is not the conditions of mortality. They are already in the world of immortality. To utter the wisdom which exceeds all praise. Our language cannot explain, cannot utter those things at all. Our language is incapable of that. To utter the wisdom which exceeds all praise. The kings of evil and the kings of good, appellants as the reason, judgment seat, proclaim the gospel of their opposition, and all believe themselves unspoken of God. What is here? Yes, there are evil beings, there are beings of good also, and they are the appellant, they are claiming the soul of Ashwati. Yes, you are ours, you are ours. Actually, the gods of light and titans of the dark battle for his soul as for a costly prize. They are there now behind that thing. The gods of light and the titans of the dark, they are claiming his soul. In a word, there is a kind of a tussle. He is there. There is a pull from below, there is a pull above, and there is a constant fight. They want Ashwapati to be there. Why they want the Ashwapati to be there? So that the divine possibilities will not be able to progress, the titans. Why the gods of light want? Because only through that the divine possibilities can open out and enter into this creation. So there is a kind of tussle between them, between the titans and the gods. Actually, if we really understand what Shebindu has written in A Record of Yoga about evolution, how things started, how there were beings of the vital nature earlier, the titans, the Greek god. Before that, there were the demons, and earlier than that, the dwarfs and all that. They were there, of the vital nature, and they will not allow things to happen. And then of course there are the gods who are trying to promote the possibilities of the divine here. So there is a constant battle here. So in that sense, again, as I have been telling, the avatarhood of Rama is a very significant transition. With the avatarhood of Rama, all those battles of the asuras, the rakshasas, pishachas, or the titans, or the giants, or the demons, which were opposing that thing, they have been kind of closed down, they have been over, and there, from there onward, the possibilities of the divine mental being started opening out. So that way the transition of Rama's avatarhood is an extremely significant transition in the history of evolution. That the vital forces have been subdued, have been kept under control, and now the possibilities of the divine nature of mind have opened out, and the progress can become rapid, you see. That is the transition which has taken place. So therefore, he is now talking at a point where this battle is going on between the past and the present, you see. To utter the wisdom which exceeds all frame, the kings of evil and the kings of good, appellants and the reason judgment seat. So all that is they are doing is go by reason. Both the kings of evil and the kings of good, they are only by going, never by the mental faculty, by the faculty of reason alone. But now beyond that, things have to open out more than that. Proclaim the gospel of their opposites. Yes, we are good, we are good. See, opposite. And all believe themselves spokesman of God. You can't refuse that thing. You will speak such language. The gods of light and titans of the dark. So that way, there is a kind of a truth in the Greek mythology of the earlier ancient gods and the Olympians. The fight between the titans and the Olympians are conquered and proved. There is a truth in that behind, you see. The Olympians and the titans, you see. Before that, there was the fight between the titans and the demons, like that, you see. Giants, you see. Battle for his soul as for a costly prize. In every hour, loose on the quiver of time, there was a song of new discovery, a boatfang's hum of young experiment. So that is the battle, and because it is a battle, therefore there is a bow and arrow, and the moment the arrow is shot, there is a twang, that noise coming out. In every hour, loose on the quiver of time, it is coming out from the quiver of time. There rose a song of new discovery. That is what happened. Actually, it is true. When the Rama avatar comes, a new song has started, a new discovery has begun of the mental being. Manomaya Purusha has appeared on the scene. A bow twang hum of young experiment. Young because it is the beginning of things. The appearance of the Manomaya Purusha in the early stage, and it has been strengthened further. Each day was a spiritual romance, as if he was born into a bright new world. He, Ashwapati. Each day was a spiritual romance, as if he was born into a bright new world. Adventure lived an unexpected friend, and danger brought a keen, sweet tang of joy. Each happening was a deep experience. Well, that is the elaboration. Danger brought a keen, sweet tang of joy. Yes, there is a danger, because there are the titans, there are the evil forces, but they are bringing a joy of conquest. Each happening was a deep experience. Why? To conquer the evil is a great experience, and it's an experience of joy by itself, you see. There were high encounters between the titans and the gods, you see. There were the battle of the titans, that is a famous story in the Greek mythology, you see, the battle of the titans and the Olympians. There were high encounters, epic colloquies, dialogues, exchanges. and countless came, and councils came, couched in celestial speech. Yes, they were talking always in heavenly speech. And councils came, couched in celestial speech. See the repetition, or see again here. Councils came, couched in celestial speech. You see. And councils came, couched in celestial speech, and honeyed pleading breathe from occult lips. Yeah, because these are the gods, the titans, they will speak like that. And honeyed pleading breathe from the occult lips, occult, hidden, unknown to us, to help the heart to yield to rapturous call. What for all that thing? So that the heart listens to the call of rapture. All that thing is for what? That the heart listens to the rapturous call. And sweet temptation stole from beauty's realm, and sudden ecstasy from a world of bliss. That is what happened. And there were high encounters. Yes, in spite of that, all these things are happening. It was a rain of wonder and delight. It was a rain of wonder and delight. All now his bright clairaudience could receive his Ashwapati's clairaudience, the inner faculties, the inner vision, inner ears, inner faculties, could receive, these all could receive contact thrill of mighty unknown things, because his inner vision, inner audience, inner faculties of seeing and all that thing opened out. He could receive them directly. It was a rain of wonder, and therefore it was a kingdom of wonder and delight. You see. All now his bright clairaudience could hear. Means he is there, he can hear now distant sounds, the far sounds, the sounds of the future, also the sounds of the past, he can hear, you see, constantly. And now his bright clairaudience, bright, yes, because that is what he is living in. A contact thrill of mighty unknown things which are not known yet, but as if he is kind of in contact with them and is thrilled with those contacts, those things. It was a rain of wonder and delight. All now with bright clairaudience could receive a contact thrill of mighty unknown things. Awakened to new unearthly closenesses. That is what happened now in the case of Ashwapati. Awakened now to new unearthly closenesses. The touch replied, subtle infinities. See the contact, all the five senses now, he describe it. The touch, clairaudience touch replied, subtle infinities. Yeah, you can go and touch them, the infinities. Very subtle, sukshma, but still you are able to touch them, you see. The touch replied to subtle infinity, and with a silver cry of opening gate, sighs lightning leaped into the invisible. What a poetry is, poetry is. And the silver cry of opening, the gates are opening, and the sound of the opening of the gate is a silver cry to enter into the invisible. And with a silver cry of opening gate, sights lightning. See, he is describing the five senses: hearing, touch, sight. Sights lightning leap into, they are gone into the invisible directly, you see. Very sheer poetry, you see. You have to just enjoy it, understand it, enter into it, and that itself will explain what it is, you see. Awakened to new unearthly closenesses. So all those things have become now very intimate to him, very friendly with him, very close to him. The touch replied to subtle infinity, and the silver cries of opening gate, sighs lightning leap into the invisible. This is poetry. Only a poet can do that, you see. Ever his consciousness and vision grew. So with all that inner faculties are there, obviously it is an expansion, growth. So you are in the divine, but you are growing in the divine. You are in the divine does not mean that you have stopped growing. You can expand, you grow, you acquire better and better faculties, more and more knowledge. They took an ample sweep a loftier flight. He passed the border marked for matter's rule and passed the zone where thought replaces life. Where thought replaces life. In other words, the transition from the physical, the transition from life, the transition to mind is what is happening here, you see. Ever his consciousness and vision grew. That is the transition from matter to life to mind, you see. They took an ample sweep. They, consciousness and vision. This stands for consciousness and vision. Ever his consciousness and vision grew. They took an ample sweep, a loftier flight. Now, of course, this is a comparative phrase. It is a comparative phrase. What he was, with respect to that, they are ampler, they are loftier. In other words, that is not the end. He has to still go on and on further, you see. Ever his consciousness and vision grew. They took an ample swim, a loftier flight. He passed the border marked for matter's rule. Yes, this is the material domain. Yes, cross that thing. Yes, this is the domain of life. Yes, cross that thing. Yes, this is the domain of mind. Yes, cross that domain. He is going further and further. That is what grew. They took an ample sweep, a loftier flight. He passed the border marked for matter's rule and passed the zone where thought replaces life. And passed the zone where thought replaces life. And pass. See again, metrically. And pass the zone where thought replaces life. Absolutely iambic line. Perfect iambic line. And pass, first iamb, the zone, second iamb, where thought, third iamb, replace. Fourth iamb, says life, fifth iamb. Absolutely iambic line, see. And pass the zone where thought replaces life.